Well, the West African nation of Benin has shared a warm and long-standing relationship with the United States. Is that relationship in jeopardy? And if so, why? Africa 54's Laurel Bowman has been investigating this. Laurel.
Thank you, Vincent. Yesterday, we told you about two men at odds, Benin's President Boni Yayi and Benin businessman Patrice Talon, now living in France. Talon supported President Yayi and backed him financially when he ran for and won the presidency in 2006 and 2011. But Benin's leaders now say that Talon got angry after losing a big contract and began discrediting the president. That's the background to the second part of our story. Benin's political intrigue comes to Washington. The plot unfolded like a thriller. Benin's president, Boni Yayi, accused his former friend, wealthy businessman Patrice Talon, of trying to kill him by replacing his medicine with poison. So far, Benin's courts have cleared Talon, but the government is pressing its claim through appeal. Meantime, Talon is telling the world that President Yayi is no Democrat, but a dangerous dictator in waiting, illegally imprisoning his enemies and scheming to ban term limits by rewriting Benin's constitution. And now, Talon's campaign has come to Washington.
He's paying us to put a spotlight on the situation.
This is former Republican Senator Robert Bennett, whose Washington law firm Talon has hired to lobby on his behalf.
This is entirely an effort on his part to have the world come to an understanding of what is going on in Benin and get world pressure to say this must stop. Benin must go back to where it once was, which was a flourishing democracy that was an example to its neighbors.
So you feel that Talon is just a good patriot and a Democrat, and that's his primary focus?
He has not indicated any other motive to us.
Bennett and his colleagues at the Arent Fox law firm think that U.S. funding cuts to Benin are the best way to get President Yayi's attention, so that he will, as they say, put the country back on track to democracy. So far, they have met with 5 congressmen or their staffers, and in January, legislation was introduced in Congress that would ban U.S. funding to Benin, except for emergency aid. Last summer, Arent Fox lawyers visited a U.S. aid agency called the Millennium Challenge Corporation, or MCC. Several months later, the MCC announced that future plans to fund development projects in Benin were on hold. Benin's government values its tie to the MCC at hundreds of millions of dollars. The MCC funding, State Department funding, this lifts people up. This lifts up the average person who lives in Benin, and there are 9 million of them. So if we make a country poorer, are we actually strengthening an ally?
This is always a difficult call. No, you hurt the populace when you feed the corrupt regime. You hurt the populace when you make money available to someone who is in the process of becoming a tyrant.
What the government of Benin is worried about is, in their view, they've chased off what they call a corrupt businessman, and now his money and influence has come to Washington and could ultimately result in funding cuts to the country of Benin.
There is no constitutional statement that says the amount of wealth you have determines your ability to hire or not hire an advocate.
I would not wish to have this situation where someone will be working daily to try and damage those relationships between our two countries.
We sat down with Benin's ambassador to the United States, Cyril Ogua. He said that Benin has every right to improve its constitution and that the legal cases of those imprisoned are ongoing. And on term limits,
President Yayi has repeated on many occasions in Benin and abroad, everywhere, that he is not willing to stay in power after April 2016. Why not take his word? I think he cannot be more clear than that.
Businessman Patrice Talon's hiring of this Washington law firm, are you concerned about it damaging U.S. relations with Benin?
America is a vital partner to Benin, and we have very strong, very long-standing relationship. So my call would be for American decision makers to carefully look at the facts any time they have to make a decision. Benin is a democratic country, a country where the leaders are committed to democracy and human rights, and also a country where we are implementing our own reform. And in doing so, we need our partner, America, to support us.
Early last week, we reached out to the Millennium Challenge Corporation for an explanation of their decision on Benin. They have agreed to a future interview, and we look forward to bringing that to you.